You're not going to have to watch any other video on mindset after reprogramming your subconscious mind.
Welcome back to the Perspective podcast, episode 6. Today, we're going to be talking about reprogramming your subconscious mind to achieve your dream life.
But first, let's start with something fun. Today's icebreaker is, what do you find annoying about yourself? Something you find annoying or annoys you.
I think too much. I'm constantly thinking.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Yeah, it does. I find that so annoying.
How about me?
Yeah, yesterday.
So rude.
Yesterday I cried. I did cry. Arinda did console me because I was too overwhelmed. And one main reason...
I was the root cause or overwhelmed.
Yeah. If we're talking about work or content, whatever it is, he just switches to the next thing.
I'm an idea
what
machine.
If we do
I'm
this?
an idea machine.
What if we do this? What if we change this? What if we moved here? What if we did this? Or let's just scrap this and let's go do this. And it just overwhelms me so much. So I can understand why
I am the problem.
Annoys you too.
I am the problem. Yeah, but it leads to a lot of ding moments, a lot of positive thoughts.
Probably like 5% of the time.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just
you need volume.
Me taking in whatever he's saying.
Yeah.
What
about you?
Yeah, what I find annoying about myself is I always have a bloody song stuck in my head.
Oh, I have that too all the time.
No, I think the same song has been stuck in my head for a month.
What song is it?
It's such a random song. That song that goes, and I can't
Come on, sing it for us.
Falling in love with you. That song. And it's so annoying every day. And I'll catch myself singing it and then I'll get so annoyed with me and I'm like, ugh. So, Rinda, did you know the difference between the subconscious and conscious mind?
Of course.
Okay, go on, tell me.
So the subconscious mind is your deep level of thinking.
Okay.
The thoughts that process in the background.
Yes.
The thoughts that happen without you knowing, and they're usually shaped before the age of 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
He's reading my mind.
I'm smarter than you thought.
Okay.
She tried to question me because I just said, I don't know. When she's like, okay, I'm going to talk about the subconscious mind and the difference. And I'm like, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. So your conscious mind is where your brain processes all the decision-making, thinking, your logical reasoning to certain things that you do day to day. Whereas your subconscious mind is developed from the age of 0 to 7. And that's why we see, a lot of people talk about how parenting at a younger age can impact you in various different ways as you grow up and how you perceive certain situations and just the different traits that you start to develop as you grow older.
So would you say you have control over your subconscious mind at all?
I feel like you can slowly develop control to a certain extent. No, I wouldn't say control. I would say you can change your subconscious mind, but you don't have control over it because, again, that's running in the background. A good example I once had was, imagine a play and on the stage is your conscious mind, but everything in the background is your subconscious mind.
So you can make small changes over time. You can't really make... Yeah. So your subconscious mind is how you're actually thinking at a deeper level, and then your conscious mind is how you're presenting those deep thoughts.
Yeah.
And oftentimes you can change and adapt those conscious thoughts to make it seem like you're a type of way, but deep down you still have those subconscious thoughts running. And over time, through repetition and some of the tactics we're going to share, you can slowly start to change the way your subconscious mind operates. Through, again, the plasticity of the mind.
A good example, whereas if you grew up in a household that was really toxic and your parents had a really bad relationship, you're going to end up wanting that subconsciously as you get older. I've seen certain situations where people are in loving relationships, but they're always constantly trying to create negativity.
Yeah. So I think, again, if you had a lot of positive experiences that outweighed the negative growing up, you're most likely going to naturally have a positive thought right away versus someone that may have had more negative. You're going to have a negative thought right away, right? So I think also, again, we're programmed for negativity, again, just through years of, again, evolution and genetic programming. But yeah, I think there's things that we can change. So let's start with number one. What do you think is a tactical thing that someone can be doing?
One big thing is awareness. Before you even start reprogramming, I think awareness is key to really understand what's going on in your subconscious mind and understanding, okay, what traits do I have? What do I need to change and reprogram? And one big thing that you can do to help with that is journaling. And I think you can do this day to day, but doing it in specific situations where you're stressed and you might not know the reason why you're stressed, writing down what you're thinking, and continuously doing that in stressful situations or emotional situations, then you can really tap into what's going on in your brain, how you're feeling, if there's a particular pattern that you're noticing. And that's when you can kind of identify, okay, this is what's going on in my brain. This is where I'm going wrong or something that I don't like. And then you can start working on reprogramming.
Yeah. So if we know that the conscious mind is all we can actually explore and actually use, you use the conscious mind to figure out what the subconscious mind is doing. So awareness of what is my subconscious mind telling me day to day. And I think, a daily practice is going to be better, whether it's a journal or it's a quick check-in with yourself of, okay, I had this thought when this happened. Oh, interesting. That reminds me of this person when they respond like that. Or, oh, maybe I had this happen to me. That's why I respond like that. And then just awareness of that, I guess you can start to, that in itself will start to make small changes for you, right?
Yeah. Even if, let's say, you have an idea or you want to do something, but then you're constantly talking bad about yourself, like, oh, but I don't think I can do it, or I'm not worthy of doing this, this, and that. And then tapping into your subconscious mind and asking yourself, okay, why am I thinking like this? Why am I constantly thinking like this? Why am I in a negative cycle? And it could be because when you were younger and you wanted to do something and you were always told, okay, no, you don't need to do it. That's useless. Like, that's dumb.
Yeah, I think this is my pet peeve with friends and people that I talk to. And it's just like limiting beliefs is like it's probably my biggest pet peeve. It's just like, why are you thinking like that?
Yeah.
Like, the only way that I achieved what I achieved was because of some sort of belief system. And I think, like I have like crazy big dreams and I've achieved like small portions of them only, but it's like just having any limitation in your belief is going to stop you from getting anywhere.
Yeah.
Because you already capped yourself. There's a ceiling and like, okay, but what if this doesn't work? Or, oh, this problem's going to come up. Well, become resourceful, right? Be the person that solves that problem and be knowing that you can solve that problem.
But I think like you automatically know if someone has strong beliefs and they're confident in what they say, you're going to believe that. But if someone's always, just negatively talking about themselves, you're never going to believe that they're going to achieve what they want to. So just making that switch is really important.
Yeah. And it's like one of those things where it's like, I feel like I tackled a lot of my limiting beliefs and I still have like so many, but like I'll never speak them into existence. I won't like say it out loud because I feel like it just keeps like the cycle going of like, okay, thought, can't achieve it. Okay, more of negative thought, can't achieve it even more. And it's like this constant cycle, right? So I think that's, okay. So awareness, journaling is one. Just a quick self-check-in is another way of awareness. Any other methods of awareness or it's kind of...
Again, I know we've spoken about this so many times, but meditation. So when, sorry, you were going to say something?
I just think that's a different topic in itself. I don't think it's awareness. I think that's actually starting to tap into...
No, that's reprogramming. Yeah. Sorry. In terms of awareness, I don't know what else you can do in terms of journaling.
Yeah, I think like therapy maybe. Having someone else's an outside point of view, right? Having someone else tell you, hey, this is how you're thinking right now. Or someone acknowledge a thought for you, because oftentimes like you won't even accept it. I've had conversations with people with like very limiting beliefs. They're like, nah, but that's just how life works, and this is just how, you have to be realistic. And I'm like, that's not my reality. That might be yours, right? Okay, now that we have some sort of awareness about your subconscious mind, how you actually respond to things, how you think about things, now we need to actually tap into that and start to make some micro changes. So small changes over time. And what are some good strategies for that, Puneet?
Yeah, so I think meditation is one.
Why?
We've covered this in basically all of our episodes, I think.
Yeah.
But so when you're meditating, your brain is in its alpha and theta state.
Yeah.
And that's actually the state that you're mostly in when you're a child as well. And that's when a lot of your subconscious mind is
developing.
Yeah.
So you're taking on a lot of feedback. So anything done in that meditative state, your brain is starting to learn and again, be like the neuroplasticity is there, right? So you're actually putting together connections and these new patterns in your brain of like, oh, this is how things are supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's the perfect state for your brain to start to get more feedback and actually take that feedback and place it in this deep part of your brain where you can start thinking with those thoughts now. I think another thing is just doing more creative things, tapping into that state of your brain as well. It's going to start to allow your brain to, again, create more neural connections, create new pathways in your brain. And the more you do that, the more you're tapping into, again, the deeper part of your brain that is involved with learning and deep thought. So I think any of these creative things like dance, new movements, especially when you get into like functional exercise, when you get into like drawing, any of these things, you're tapping into a deeper state, a more creative state. And again, when you're in a state of learning, that's when you can also pair it with some sort of positive, whether it's listening to the right things, whether it's, again, saying the right things out loud, or anything that's related to belief and the way you think and the thoughts you want to change. That's when you can start to change that.
Yeah.
And then I think the final one is sleep, right? So that's another state where your subconscious mind is most active.
Yeah.
So before sleep or first thing in the morning, so before you go to bed or first thing in the morning, are where your brain is super into learning, and that state is the most active. That's why people do affirmations in the mornings, right?
Yeah. So, but even visualization is so important, and not talking in your present. You're not talking in your future self, but talking as if you're in that present moment. So let's say you want to be an independent, confident woman. Rather than being like, I want to be that, you can say...
It's such a cliche example.
You can say, I am a confident and... what did I say? Confident and independent woman. And changing that is really powerful, I think, because then you're actually believing and you're making your brain believe that you are this person. And then you start acting like that and you start thinking in a way that a confident and independent woman would think.
Yeah. And I think, when you start thinking too much of future, that's just a way of almost living in a state of misery almost, because you're constantly trying to achieve something, but the way you're speaking to yourself is always in a future tense.
Yeah.
So it's like completely always unachievable.
So just going over a recap of what we've just said. So the first thing is awareness and making sure that you are aware of your subconscious mind and thoughts through things like journaling. Secondly is actually reprogramming your mind now. And that can be done through meditation. Second thing is creativity, learning something new. And then third is sleep and visualization, like we said. But I will say this needs to be done over and over and over again. It can't be something that you just do here and there. You need to do it day in, day out. And I think that's where people go wrong.
Yeah. And I think that goes into like, again, visualization as a whole is like, that's a daily practice, right? I think it goes hand in hand with the journaling, right? It's like, once you start getting okay, this is how I think, and then you visualize, okay, how do I actually want to think?
Yeah.
So that in itself can be just one practice, right? Day to day. Okay, hey, I'm thinking like this. How would the dream version of me think, and how would they react, and how would they kind of take things on?
And I think one big thing with visualization is also tapping into your past self. So let's say you went through a traumatic experience, reliving that in your brain, and again, providing that specific experience or providing your past self with love and guidance, so that you're able to almost heal from that. And your brain is basically learning, okay, this is how I perceive the situation. This is what I went through, but this is how I perceive the situation now, looking back at it. And that's, again, going to reprogram your mind.
So you're just not leaving open loops. You're kind of closing off a loop and like, okay, I can actually move into this next thing or this next chapter.
I think the last thing that we need to touch upon is what you're surrounding yourself with and what you're also consuming. I think that's a big thing. So in terms of consumption, that can be what you're eating, what your day-to-day looks like, what is your routine like. But then also in terms of what you're doing is who you're surrounding yourself by, because that's really going to shape the way you think too. Because if you're constantly around people who are at a low vibration, don't have much motivation, don't have anything going for them, and constantly speaking negatively, you're going to then start thinking like that too.
Yeah, I think it's volume. Can you outdo the volume of negative thoughts with positive thoughts? And
Yeah.
if, like, people you're around is going to probably outdo any of the positive that you've done, because you're going to start getting into those patterns. And again, I think solitude, time by yourself, these things help a lot. Doesn't mean you need to like just be lonely, but use that time alone to know what you want, who you want to be with, and stuff like that. But what about the health stuff? What did you mean by that?
In terms of health, I think one big thing is I've noticed, especially in our practice, people will come into the gym and be like, yeah, I'm this type of person. Like, I'm lazy. I don't do anything. And, I don't know how to do this. And I'm like this, that, whatever they might say. But they just talk very negatively.
Yeah.
Whereas you can change that and wake up telling yourself, okay, well, I am a healthy individual. And then you start to actually incorporate healthy things in your day-to-day.
Which in itself is like feeding your mind as well, right?
Yes.
Is that kind of what you're getting at? Like,
yeah.
what you eat and then how you translate to your mind? Or are you just talking about thoughts specifically?
No, I'm talking about both.
Finish your sentence.
No, I'm talking about both. I think what you're consuming, like actually consuming, matters, but also how you attach that to your belief is also very important.
Okay.
Like, if I'm someone who's like, I know this might sound very silly, but if I'm like, I don't like this vegetable, or like, I think this, I don't like salads or whatever, you're going to make yourself believe that you are this person who just likes unhealthy food and unhealthy habits. But if you start looking at it in a different perspective, I think then that can help you build more of a routine and build more consistency with that.
Yeah. And I think,
I don't know if that made sense.
no,
But
so it makes sense to me because we work with so many people and we know how people think. Like, we understand that the, hundreds, probably thousands of people that have come through our doors at this point at the gym, it's like these people that succeed had to reframe their identity.
Yeah.
They had to.
Yeah.
The people that did not succeed, they weren't willing to let go of their identity. And that's literally all it is.
Yeah.
It's they associated a healthy version of themselves as a positive image. And that was more of a pleasure point for them, for their brain to be like, oh, me being healthy is going to provide me this kind of happiness. So I have to let this go. Versus the people that did not physically change, where it was too uncomfortable for them to let go of what they knew, how they ate, how their family probably ate. It's just, again, subconsciously been programmed into them to eat a certain amount or eat a certain amount of certain foods. And it is very uncomfortable. It's not a comfortable thing to change, but you have to make that change. And we also know that because like that person, like the people that we speak to, they actually say it to us. Oh, but that's so hard. I can't give up this kind of food. Yeah. Or we've literally heard people say, oh, I don't like broccoli. Or like, do I have to eat broccoli in my,
Or like, I'm a snacker. Or this is too hard.
Yeah.
I can't stop eating unhealthy. And I'm like, okay, well, let's try this, and this. But it's how you're speaking to yourself.
All things are changeable. Like everything is changeable. You can change the way you eat. Yeah. I can tell you, hey, you're going to only eat this. And if I put a gun to your head, you will do it, right? It's, again, we just don't have that level of pressure. We just don't have the level of discomfort to outweigh the discomfort that there is within keeping yourself the same.
Yeah, and your mind.
Yeah, so...
Like, if you're, again, it's that reprogramming. People aren't aware of it. That's the first thing, okay? They're not journaling.
Yeah. And then on top of that, again, if you keep yourself in those healthy, if you bring yourself towards those healthy loops, you start to eat healthy, you're now feeding your brain with healthy food. You're nourishing, again, you're nourishing through like a low inflammatory diet. Your brain's not as inflamed. Your brain fog is not there. Your brain is thinking clearly. You can actually execute and now make more positive steps to the right direction versus, again, someone that's probably not eating healthy, especially if you're eating in a massive calorie surplus. Naturally, you're going to have more brain fog, more inflammation in your body, probably eating more sugars. Your blood sugar is doing some crazy stuff. More inflammation in your body. You can't think clearly. You're not going to make positive choices. You're not going to start to want to even have that thought with yourself of like, oh, I should change, right? It's just No, you just are
It's
who you are.
insane though, because these clients as well, they'll put the blame on us as well, because they'll be like, oh, well, your nutrition plan was too difficult, I couldn't follow it. And I'm like, well, I just gave you small things to do. I'm someone who doesn't give crazy, outrageous tasks to clients. I give them very small things to incorporate, and that's the same with this. It's just, you want to make small changes. If you're going all in and doing some crazy things every day, trying to change your mindset completely in a day, it's just
I think the last part comes to execution. So you have to figure out what's feasible for you, right? When I was 18 or 19, I made massive changes in my life. Shush. In my life, because I had the time to do it. I had the freedom to do it, right? I wasn't thinking about 100 other things. As you get a little older or you get a little busier and have more thoughts, maybe you need to really cut things into bite-sized chunks. And there's people that from the age of 18 or 19, they've been trying to get into fitness, and now they're like 35 and they still can't. You made too big of changes too soon, and that was probably too big of a change for you to maintain. So just do one thing. Maybe do that for a year. Imagine 1 year of working out twice a week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like even Arinda's favorite person he likes to listen to before going to sleep. What's her name? Mylan?
Yeah.
She's really good to listen to in terms of reprogramming your brain.
Yeah.
And
anything deep state of relaxation.
Anyone who tells me they don't have time, like, you're doing this in your sleep. You just need to put the video on and again, let your brain, do its thing, because that's when it's actually learning and recovering at that time, because your brain is actually, again, in that alpha and theta state. So if you tell me you can't do something because you don't have time, I mean, it's just, again,
oftentimes it's a limiting belief as well, right? People just don't believe this exists or this is possible, or it's just like too out there for them. It's like, I don't know, I used to be a pretty angry person. Now I'm like not so angry, right?
You used to be?
Yeah, I feel like just in general, like,
you're still an angry person.
No, you have like deep thoughts, like deeper.
No,
your way of responding is with anger versus like,
or like a victim mindset.
Yeah. And like now I don't think anything happens to me. I kind of try my best not to,
Yeah, like a big thing, I used to get really upset. Yeah, you too. You aren't as angry. Sorry, I'm acknowledging you.
I don't think I was ever angry.
No, you weren't. That's why I was like,
I knew you.
But maybe subconsciously you're holding on to anger and just...
No, I don't think I hold on.
You scream in a pillow and I'm not here.
No, I never do that.
But when I was younger, honestly, I'd say even a couple of years ago, only recently I think I've got out of this state. If anyone criticized me or said the smallest thing, I'd end up crying literally in their face. I wouldn't even be able to hold in my tears. I'd just start crying. I could feel like the tears coming out, and then it'd be the most embarrassing thing. I remember once I was sat with my brother and he was helping me with a job application, and he said something. He was like, oh, like, you don't know that? And I just started crying, and he was just sat there like, are you okay? Like, it's okay. What's wrong? And I was like, no, I just don't know anything, blah, blah, blah. But it's only when I started tapping into that I realized it's because when I was younger, I probably was told that, oh, I'm not good at this, or I don't know, I was probably criticized a lot and I was taking it in the wrong way. Sorry, I keep tapping your leg.
Yeah, no, I think that's something you've changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you're less soft. You need a balance, between being strong and, feminine. Fierce. And then, having your, that masculine, that feminine, right? You need that balance between both. And when you have both sides, you can
juggle. Juggle between them.
Okay, moving on to some questions people have for us. Now, I constantly compare myself to people on social media and I start to feel behind. How do I stop that, or how can I make myself feel better about it?
Yeah, I think one thing is realizing that everything that's on social media is the best part of people's lives most of the time. Even with us, we are not in the greatest situation in terms of where we're living, just our situation in terms of where we're living, to be honest. And it's been frustrating because it's, I guess, taken away in terms of our mental state.
Not mine, yours.
With work. I just don't feel like I have time to, like, downtime, when I want to relax, because I don't feel like we have a home where I can just relax and feel good and refreshed. But I haven't put that online. I was planning on to, because I thought, okay, people could relate to this, but just realizing that, everything you see online is not true. And I know everyone says that all the time, but actually believing it.
Yeah, because like I try to be as authentic as possible, but that stuff doesn't get as much engagement as like the highlights, right?
Yeah.
So it's completely normal.
Yeah. I think secondly is just not spending so much time on social media too, and using that time to do something else. And I know a lot of people say that too, to try to limit your screen time, but find something fun to do. Learn a new language, do something. And then also, if you're comparing yourself to other people, that means you're not content or happy with something that's going on in your life, maybe. Okay, so rather than scrolling, why don't you
Perfect time to reprogram your subconscious mind.
Yeah. Or instead of scrolling, why don't you go and do something to motivate you and help you feel better about yourself or get you closer to your goal, rather than sitting there looking at other people and feeling sad about yourself.
Don't be so soft.
No, in a nice way. Everyone falls into it. Like I also fall into that trap, and then I have to kind of remind myself, okay, let me just focus on myself, because then you're just going to start going into whatever this is.
Quick movements.
You're going to go into like, what's the word?
Cycle?
Yeah, like a cycle, and then you're going to get deeper into the hole, and then you're just not going to be able to come out.
Okay.
But yeah, that would be my advice. My partner and I have very different communication styles. I shut down and they get frustrated. How do we break that cycle?
Learn to communicate.
How do we do that, Rinder?
Learn to express that you may need more time. Learn to express the fact that, hey, this is how I communicate during a certain situation. This is how you communicate during a certain situation. Just that communication in itself will create more awareness of both people's response. And oftentimes from that response, you'll probably start to make changes. Yeah. Like me just being more aware of like, oh, I shut down. Maybe I wasn't aware of that completely. Or I was aware of it, but I didn't say it out loud. And I didn't take any accountability for that. And maybe that's not right. Or maybe I'm too vocal in that situation. Maybe that's not right. So it's like, how can you find that middle ground? And not expecting it to become perfect within a month or 2 weeks or 6 weeks. It's a time in the game thing, right? It's like everything. It's just like, okay, is it getting any bit better since we started communicating about it? Okay, when something happens and we shut down, did we shut down a little less, right? And you just kind of keep working through that and become better through that. So communication is huge. It's just like we shy away from communication so often that we don't realize the actual benefit when we actually do communicate. And then when we do communicate, it's like, wow, that was so much easier than it could have been.
Yeah, because again, like going back into what we were talking about in the podcast, if you communicate, that's going to create awareness, and then you can, find
visualize,
out.
And then you can...
But it's true. Then you can actually start reprogramming the way you, the
quick actions. That's our podcast
today. Then you can start reprogramming the way your mind is thinking, and again, how you're looking at the situation and how you're actually engaging in that situation. Period. And that was the end of episode 6 of the Perspectiv podcast, and we'll see you next Monday.